Okay, so today we'll be opening up this Baldwin oil filter, number B9, that I got from Rock Auto for $7.73 plus shipping. And we'll be comparing it to this 59-year-old Hastings oil filter, number 212, that I got from a very generous viewer whose name is Chuck, from Brownsville, Pennsylvania. Thanks, Chuck. So today we'll take a trip back in time, back to the year 1966. When you could go to your local auto parts store and buy this old Hastings oil filter. Then you could go back home and install it on your 2-year-old 1964 AMC Rambler 77 Classic. Yep, the one with a 4.7 liter V8 engine. In 2017, Clarcor, which used to make the Hastings oil filter, was acquired by Parker Hannifin. I think making the new Baldwin oil filter the best comparison. So let's get started.
You gotta glue the silicone, get nice and tight, get your inner here, filtration everywhere.
Okay, we'll start with the Baldwin filter and we'll start with the box. Here's the filter number B9. Over here it says Parker Hannifin Corporation. They got an address. BaldwinFilters.com. Made in USA. And that's it on this box. Let's open this box up, see what this filter looks like. Okay, date code 061024145564. This is all printed on. And we got instructions here. And right here it says Made in USA. Okay, and this filter has 8 inlet holes, metal center core with louvers, and I don't think there's a bypass valve on this filter. I don't know, we'll see when we open it up. You got 4 grooves there for threads, and that rubber gasket sticks out a little bit. Okay, and let's look at this Hastings oil filter. So we got some cool graphics here. It says with densite, and we'll see what that is in a second. Filter number keeps oil visibly clean. So if you look over here, the densite consists of millions of selected raw cotton fibers. I'm not going to read all this, but I'll just put it like this. You guys can freeze it if you want to read it all. And it says printed in USA, made in USA. Okay. And here's from manufacturing companies. And the reason I say this is a 59-year-old filter is because 1966 is the last year that they show on here listing for vehicles. So it's probably when this filter was made. And here's some filters that it replaces. Okay, and that's it for the box. Let's take a look at the filter. And it's got a 7/8 inch, read that, nut on top, so you can take a socket, use it to remove it or install it. Mostly for removing. Okay, right here it's got Made in USA, instructions, filter number, Hastings Manufacturing Company, Hastings, Michigan. And this is all printed on also. Okay, and this filter has 8 inlet holes, metal center core with holes. And I'm not sure if that's a bypass valve down below there or at the dome end, or if there's one up here, or maybe there isn't even one at all. Also, I'd say looks like 3 grooves there for threads. Threads looks kind of cruddy, but after 59 years, I guess they would. Nitro rubber gasket. And it doesn't really stick out at all. Take a look at these two. So that's telling me the surface that it mounts to is probably no bigger than this gasket, or hardly any bigger. This probably slightly goes over it. Okay, let's get the weight of these filters. Okay, so the Baldwin filter, 477.2 grams. And this one here, Hastings, is really heavy, 710 grams even. 710.1 gram. Yeah, there's a little bit of a size difference. See, the Hastings is slightly larger, taller. Okay, let's open these two filters up, see what they look like inside. Be right back. Okay, so here are both filters cut open. Let's take a look at the gaskets. And I'll put the thickness of these gaskets up on the screen. Both nitro rubber. Okay, so they look fine. Base plates. Okay, Baldwin's on the left. Hastings on the right. They look like they got the same amount of threads. Same amount of grooves there for threads. This one though is, this is kind of sharp. It's not made very well. But the inlet holes, I'd say they're a little larger on the Baldwin. Kind of similar though. Okay. And the bypass valve on the Baldwin, I think it goes on like this because it fell apart when I opened it up. Either it goes like this or this way. Kind of looks like it might go that way also. But yeah, those cover the inlet holes nicely. So that's probably how it goes on, just like that. Okay, and we'll wait on this one. Let's on the Hastings, let's look at the Baldwin filter. So you got metal end caps, there's no bypass valve. And we have a seam here, glued seam here, right here. Glued seam. And this filter has 55 pleats. They're deep pleats. So this is going to be a lot of filter media. And it's a cellulose media with a micron rating of 99% at 40 microns. Deep. Okay. And it has coil spring inside. Stiff spring. Put that to the side. Now we'll take a look at this Hastings oil filter. And I didn't want to take this anti-drain back valve off because it looks like it's glued on. Looks like it was glued on there. And it's got a spring on here. So when it sits up against here, you can see that that's pretty flush. I can rip it off the rest of the way though. You can see it's glued on there. And that's how it'd be on there in the base plate. You can see the spray action here. And it's got a bypass valve down here also. Now, I'm pretty sure these are holes here. And I'm pretty sure there's a cotton material inside here. But I did a flashlight test on this last night. And I'm going to put that video up. I'll put that video up right now. Okay, so I just want to go do a quick test on this and see if there's any light coming out of these little holes. Look like little louvers. And we'll see how the bypass valve on this works. So I got a screw in there right now. Let me turn the light off. Okay, we'll see here. Okay, there's nothing, no light coming out of those holes. See that? Nothing there. And put this underneath here. And you can see the light coming through there. But okay, let me take the screw out. Okay, the screw's out. Can't see nothing. See that? Nothing out of that bypass valve. So that bypass valve is working good when you have any unfiltered oil coming through here. Okay, back to the original video. Okay, so for now I'm going to put this to the side. We're going to take a look at the inside of the can. Also, coil spring. And it fits nicely down here because it's got It's covered. So it fits right in there. Yeah. Okay. Leave that alone for now. And the cans. And I'll put the measurements of these cans up on the screen. You can pause the video if you want. But this Hastings is a lot thicker can. You can see where the nut is on the bottom there. Okay. Now back to this filter. So I'm thinking that the inside of this is that raw densite cotton that they're talking about. It's inside here. So I'm going to have to open this filter up. This metal here. I'll try doing it with my oil filter cutter. I'll see how it works. And we'll see what's inside here. Alright, so I'll be right back. Okay, so before I forget, let's get the width of this Baldwin oil filter. 4.2, yeah, that's better. I'm going to call that 4.25. 4.25 minus a tenth of an inch. Okay. All right, and I got this filter open. I had to I cut it around with the oil filter cutter, and then I had to cut this with a hacksaw. Get in there, cut it with a hacksaw, and this all came apart. But here's what it looks like. You know, it's cotton material. It's pretty dirty cotton too, actually. But yeah, this is what it was. Maybe some of you old timers can remember filters like this. I've never seen one like this before. It's the first one I ever opened up like this. Yeah, there's tons of it. Seems like it keeps growing. Pull it out and it keeps growing in there. Yeah. Well, let me get this out. I'll get most of it out, and then we'll see if the light goes through these holes. All right, so I'll be right back. Okay, here it is, and I got some of it out. You can see all this cotton here. But let me take the light off here, and you can see the light coming through those holes. Yeah. I wonder what the micron rating was for the oil to go through this and then end up coming through these holes right there in the center core and then coming out. If any of you guys remember what they probably never listed it, but if anybody ever remembers what the micron rating were for these, please post it down below. This is an interesting filter. All right, well, let me cut this Baldwin open, and we'll look at the filter material on this one. Be right back. Okay, here's the Baldwin media all stretched out, and it goes over my table. And this filter is 90.5 inches long. A lot of filter media. Okay, let's get the thickness of this filter media. 0.92 millimeters thick. Okay, this is the filtering side, back side. And if we take a look at this filter under a microscope, you're going to see some light spots coming through. So that's why the 99% at 40 micron rating, I guess. All right, so let's take a look at that microscope picture. So as you can see, it wouldn't do the greatest job of filtering, but you get a lot of filter media with this. 375 square inches of filter media. That's quite a bit. Now let's take a look at the rest of the filter. Okay, so besides the base plates being kind of the same, the rest of the filter is quite a bit different. Now let's check out the louvers on this Baldwin oil filter. Get the light here, flashlight. Okay, you can see those are opened up nice. And I also want to check out the Hastings oil filter. Now you can see all the light coming through there. And on this thing, the center core, there's actually, looks like a thin piece of, I don't know, maybe paper or some kind of filtering material on there. But you can see the lights coming out of there. So it's got to go through all the cotton, and then it's got to go through that also. Okay, and that keeps the cotton out of your oil also. If you got any loose cotton in there. And this is how much cotton came out of there. This whole bag right here. This is a big bag also. I forgot what size it is. Gallon size or something. But yeah, a lot of cotton in there. And I want to mention the can on this Hastings. I forgot to mention this earlier. There was a 118 stamped on here. I don't know if that's a date code or not. Okay, so it's on there. And that's about all I can think of to mention on these filters. They're quite a bit different. I'd love to know what this micron rating is on this Hastings oil filter. So what do you guys think about this old Hastings filter? And again, I want to thank Chuck for sending me this old Hastings oil filter. And I think I'll wrap this video up. And don't forget, Oil Filter Fridays. I try to open up an oil filter every Friday on this YouTube channel. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and take care.